to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Please pass it out, some copies of that. This is chapter 13, text 32. Please.
Sorry, could you repeat?
13, 32. Yeah, 13, 32. Yeah. I've got different copies, so we've got different pages. Okay? Right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're going to read Sanskrit. So, Anaditva Nirgunatvat Paramatmayam Avayam Sharitashkidapyu Kuntiyam Nakaroti Nalipyate Anaditva Nirgunatva Paramatmayam Yagavyam Sharirashchopi Kuntiyam Nakaroti Nalipyate Ananditva Nirgunatvam Paramatmayam Avyayam Sharirashtopi Kunteyam Nakaroti Nalipyate. Anybody would like? Anaditva Nirgunatvam Anaditva, due to eternity. Nirgunatva, due to being transcendental. Parama, beyond material nature. Atma, spirit. Ayam, this. Avyaha, inexhaustible. Sharirashta, dwelling to the body. Api, the. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Nakarati, never does anything. Nalikate, nor is he entangled. Okay. Translation. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature, despite contact with the material body. O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Let's do it together, please. Those with the vision of eternity, please repeat after me, can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Purport. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually, the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of this being situated in the material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He doesn't engage himself in any material activity. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material bodies do not entangle him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right. I will read translation one more time. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, or Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Right? Nice to see everybody in this cold weather outside. We're going to warm up reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we'll discuss some things according to text 32 of chapter 13. Right. So, since we see that all bodies will be born, some people would think that when the body is born, then the soul is born with, altogether along with the body. But this is not true, according to this text and according to the facts of life. In reality, the soul is eternal. It always existed, it always exists. Well, some people don't believe in the soul at all. They think that only the body is the real fact. But this is not true. This is illusion. And therefore, we will say that the soul is an immortal Atma. Atma means soul from Sanskrit language. We just saying that from translation. And all great acharyas reveal to us the secret of immortality. Who knows the secret? Anybody knows the secret of immortality? So the secret of immortality means that we're full of bliss. Haribol! Yes, so we're full of happiness. And this is the nature of soul, to be happy. Just knowing this fact, we should be happy all the time. You know, that's it. Nobody gonna just distract us from being not happy. Yeah, okay. So this is the secret of immortality, to be happy or filled with bliss. Therefore, the immortal soul, by its very nature, is filled with joy, with enthusiasm, with endeavor to do something, and but with the contact with material body or with contact with material nature, we sometimes become unhappy, and that's the opposite from the spiritual experience, of course, and it becomes enveloped in the illusion. So we just see lots of illusionary things around us, and we're trying to believe in them, following that, and this material body is also, well, when we say illusion, obviously we mean something temporary. As long as it's temporary, this is illusionary. As long as it's eternal, this is real. Like our Atma, our soul, spirit soul. Yeah, and so yeah, sometimes we become unhappy, well, because we got the contact with material nature, the material matter, in other words. And if the body has seized its power over a soul, then one himself has allowed to do so. So this is my permission, that body is superior than my nature, and my nature is being eternally happy. So let's say that gross body should not be superior than spirit soul or Atma. For example, it's quite foolish to be in a bus or travel somewhere from here to city center, for instance, and then miss the stop. For instance, I got a stop, I have to get out, but I missed that. And instead of to do something, I just started crying, like, oh, I missed my stop, and still travel until I'm gonna get the end of that somewhere. So this is not right. And as soon as I forgot that my stop had been missed, I just gonna wake up, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna get out, next stop, and just come back. Yeah, so endeavor is important. Or another example, everybody got experience in London Underground, yeah, in a very rush hour. Imagine you in a tube, right, in a rush hour, and this is your time to get out of that. So what are we gonna do? We should get out earlier and just do like that, you know, to get out sometimes, you know. Or at least we ask, are you getting off, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss? Yeah, we should get ready. But imagine the person who is quite lazy to do that, and he said, it's my stop. I'm too lazy to get out. I'm too lazy to get out. And he traveled again, go out. So, same in the spiritual life. We do something, we should do something about that. We should get up early in the morning, we should take a shower, we should do our pranams, we should go to Mangalarati, we should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, we should chant at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the morning, then having breakfast, go to do something. And so all starting from early in the morning, and without endeavors, nothing gonna happen. Yeah, even in material or spiritual life. So, the Vedas say that when one is tired, sometimes we're tired, so there is a symptom of tiredness. Well, before symptoms, I would like to say that we should drink a little bit of milk. Just a spoon of milk gonna help us to become more active. You know that fact? No? That's beautiful, yes. Because milk is liquid love, and it is dissolve our fatigue. And because fatigue is a symptom, we should know that fatigue has one of the symptoms. One of the symptoms is greed or selfishness, ego in other words, or false ego. When I think too much about myself, I can find myself that I'm really tired. You know? I think I'm tired because of other things, but normally the symptoms is like that I'm just too much thinking about that what doesn't exist or exist in a temporary aspect of that what I'm thinking about. So false ego. But if we say cows, they are not greedy at all. They are completely selfless, and they produce milk for free. And when we got that, milk is able to soothe our inflamed consciousness. Does anybody take milk before going to bed? Yeah, very well. Me too, yes. So it's really good to have that, yeah. So, and the Vedas, or books Srila Prabhupada translated for us and wrote those books, we called like cream of knowledge. And if we say that the first book we should start is Bhagavad Gita, and then Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see lots of counters of Srimad Bhagavatam on the shelves, we should say double cream of knowledge. So this is just like cream of the creams. Yeah. And this helped us to be happy, to realize ourselves as eternal souls. One devotee told me once, when I reached Srimad Bhagavatam, it tastes like a Milky Way. Okay, that's a good taste. So, but you know, these shastras, this knowledge, doesn't want anything from us. We shouldn't pay anything, it's free of charge. The only thing they want from us is that we take that and practice, that apply that into the practice. And we should practice them uncompromisingly. What does it mean? Like no compromise with Maya. No compromise with Maya, no compromise with Maya. Maya means illusion. And illusion means something temporary. So we shouldn't be concentrated much on temporary things. Yeah, we deal with the temporary things. We should go to work, we should do that, we should do this. We got something in our belongings like property. But we shouldn't be attached to that because it's all temporary. Otherwise, why illusion is bad? Because at the end, there's going to be disappointment. And what is more painful than disappointment? Even sometimes the physical pain is not so painful as the pain of disappointment. That's why illusion is a dangerous thing, to be honest. Many people who believed in something temporary, then they got disappointed, they couldn't continue their life. They just were broken, absolutely. So that's why illusion is not good. And it's evil, I would say, yeah. And the cream of knowledge is the knowledge about the absolute truth. I've got another example. For instance, we know tomato juice. Yes, all know tomato juice. Does anybody like drinking tomato juice? What's in there? No. It's good for you. But anyway, the doctor says that this is healthy, you know. But as long as we put in tomato juice some vodka and mix that, it becomes Bloody Mary. You know that? So that drink called Bloody Mary, and it's not healthy anymore. This is going to be opposite. It's going to bring us kind of blood, pain, sufferings, and it's not healthy at all. So please don't drink Bloody Marys. Drink milk. Okay. Well, it's more healthy for mind, body, and consciousness. Yeah. So the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam exert a certain kind of pressure on us. Why? Because we know from shastras, from knowledge, that we need to follow regulative principles. And when I say pressure, I mean that some rules and regulations. But any rules and regulation, more or less, sounds like, oh, that's kind of pressure to my freedom or something. But actually, it's well, let's say what kind of rules and regulations I'm talking about of spiritual life, of course. We to renounce all intoxications, no Bloody Mary, definitely, no gambling, no filthy food, and no sexual perversions. So no illicit sex. Yeah. But this is not just, it's not pressure actually. This is a magic. That's a magic for our spiritual life, capable of transforming our impurity or our impure consciousness into the pure consciousness, into purity. For example, under immense pressure, dirty and black coal, which we can use for fireplaces, yes, suddenly turns into the purest diamond because it's under press, you know, the millions of years have been under the pressure, the coal, and then boom, it becomes a diamond. How is it possible? So, magic, isn't it? So that's pressure I'm talking about to become magic, yeah, to receive the magic as a result. And this, so Krishna's devotee is not afraid of pressure, rules and regulations. A devotee knows that without regulations, without rules, impurity would be able to become pure. So this impurity has become so deeply ingrained in our hearts that this devotee rejoices after 4 rules and regulations, of course. It's the same like a sick person rejoices as an expensive and effective medicine. Oh, I've got such a great medicine. I'm gonna be healthy tomorrow, so and go to work. Yeah. Is anybody enjoying to follow 4 regulative principles? Or maybe somebody is like, in the morning, oh, today, 4 regulative principles, all these rules, no Bloody Mary, oh my God. No, definitely not. We should understand that this is magic, this is enjoying process. Yeah. And devotional service or bhakti yoga doesn't bring instant results straight away. We shouldn't expect the result just straight away. It is designed for all life long. Maybe 2 lives, maybe 3 lives. Better if this is going to be 1 in 108 lives. I'm joking. What is better, to receive Prema Bhakti after 108 births or within 1 life? Well, this is a rhetorical question anyway. Everybody can find the answer for himself. Somehow or other, once we begin to invest our time in bhakti yoga, chanting at least 60 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we'll see magic. And this magic is a true spiritual taste, a knowledge and understanding that I am the eternal soul. I always existed, I always exist, and I always will be existing. And devotional service can be compared to money investment, to very profitable business, to the very high rate and interest rate. But material life, on the other hand, is like shifting money from one place to another, from one drawer to another. I know one person, he likes doing business all the time. And he just invested money in there, and there, and there, and there, and there. He invested everywhere. I said, and what is the result? Oh, I've got the profit, things like that. And what's happened to the first, second, and the third year investments? I lost that. So he won something in the 4th or 5th attempt, but in the first 3 attempts, he got yes. And even when he received some profit, and what's next? He tries doing again the investment. And this is all his life. So we just compare material life, like shifting that from money from one drawer to another, like that. Well, some people enjoy that, but I think it's just like not really enjoying. Yeah, we're not against any business or money, but that has to be, it should be in sufficient way done. It should only fulfill our desires according to life, according to our necessities, but not for being greedy and just save and save for something. Yeah, and of course, anything we do and we save, we should do and apply for the Krishna consciousness and devotional service. Why? To please Krishna. This is the goal. So, material life is similarly practical. So we think that material life is quite practical. Why? Because I'm going to go there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to receive that, I'm going to have a salary. And devotional service is similarly not practical. I got my uncle, and when I chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on the chanting beads, he says, "Why are you doing this?" He says, "What's the point? Go and work. You're going to do something for society. But chanting Hare Krishna, you just like," he doesn't understand that. So it looks like impractical, and material life and material work looks like it's something practical. But with even small investment, it constantly increases our bliss day by day. And I say to my uncle, I chant Hare Krishna to receive bliss day by day. And this bliss I'm going to share with you. Yeah, sometimes I feel you sharing bliss with me. So he just said, okay, go on. Yeah, because everybody wants to be happy. And everyone wants, when we sharing happiness with others, it's just absolutely nice. It's good. Yeah. Krishna consciousness or devotional service is very profitable. Remember that. And that's why Bhagavad Gita says, those who follows this path of Bhakti Yoga know no loss. We won't lose anything. Even when we leave our body, we're going to leave behind all our material belongings. But we're never going to lose that what we got from devotional service. Krishna remembered every effort, every endeavor which we're trying to please him, when we were trying to please him. Haribol, you know. And it's certainly going to give us understanding of eternity, of knowledge and bliss. Yeah. So I desire to find eternity, for instance. I desire to find knowledge. I desire to find bliss. But all I do is collecting the spiritual experience of other people. For instance, when I travel across the world, I see others' experience. I read books. I see others happy, others' life, others experiencing something, that or this. When I listen to lectures, it all looks like somebody's experience, somebody's happiness, somebody's life. But why not to try myself to do the same thing? As long as I just read all instructions from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, I should try that. I should try to live the same way, he told me. When I read some of Srimad Bhagavatam, I should try that. I should do endeavor. And then I'm going to receive at least the result, rather than to read and just thinking about someone's experience. No, I need to do it myself. And it's not going to be, and this knowledge and this experience which I receive from my own endeavor cannot be bought. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be delivered by Royal Mail. It just, it just has to be done by myself. Yeah. So devotional experience is surrendering my heart to Krishna. I just say, without expectations, without any selfishness or something to receive in return. So sincerely, I have to give my heart to Krishna and say, Krishna, do with me anything you want to do. And I'm ready for anything, even if I'm going to be in great suffering after that. This is also important. And when Krishna takes my heart, hopefully, I said, oh Madhava, he will fill it with a brim, with a spiritual taste. So we receive the spiritual taste after that. And it's called Ananda. So when we say bliss, Sanskrit word is Ananda. Yeah. Eternal bliss. Either the whole heart or nothing at all. So I have to just be renounced fully, without expectations, and then I receive the taste. We pursue happiness not through logic, but through the taste. Taste is the best logic. Taste is the best logic. Taste is the best logic. That's what we should understand. And because logic can be lost or defeated by an argument, there are lots of really smart people, they can just destroy you through the logic and that's it. You just think, oh, maybe he's right, But I've got the taste. Yeah, and I can't lose this taste, it remains with me always. And this taste is growing. It's not stays, it's just growing and growing and growing and growing. And having experienced this taste once, a person becomes a seeker of the source of this taste. So if you're not ready to come out from the comfort zone and to receive the Krishna conscious taste, then it's better not to read Bhagavad Gita, not to read any Srimad Bhagavatam. Because there is no turning back. As long as I receive this taste, that's it. The way only is to please Krishna. Yeah. And even if we abandon this movement, I just remember Dhananjaya Prabhu just mentioned one story about one Prabhu who just left movement of Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, yeah? And as long as he heard that anybody criticized devotees, he becomes, he was fighting, yeah, Prabhu? Yeah, he was fighting and he was defending, no, just devotees are good, and this movement is nice. And then he come back and become devotee again. As I know. Yeah, so with the taste of this spiritual taste in Krishna consciousness, we cannot live in the material life as we lived before. It's not going to be the same way, even if you just left that. So we're always going to be remembering this taste. We're always going to be different, even when we come back to all those people who just use Bloody Mary every day. And we think, oh, on Westgate Road, 304, I want to come back. Yeah, it's a nice place. So spiritual taste allow us to enjoy in a true way. And that enjoyment always increase, always grow and grow up. Yeah. And there is no way to cheat the laws of karma or the law of destiny. We should understand that this world is fair, and everything that's happening to me, personally to me, is fair. I earned that. Maybe not today, but I earned that from the previous life. Maybe I earned that what happened today, yesterday. And after all, only those who sincerely and selflessly surrender their hearts to Krishna are able to attain eternal happiness. One of God's names, it translates as unblinking or staring. That means that Krishna sees everybody's heart. He resides in everybody's heart and he sees everything. He knows what we're thinking about. He knows what we want to do or what we don't want to do. Krishna is closer to me than my nose. 100%. And this is kind of inconceivable to understand, but this is fact. If everybody knows the dollars banknote, you receive that on the reverse, there is the pyramid and the eye. This is Krishna. Well, because it is unblinking, he sees everything. Oh, somebody's knocking. Is it Krishna? Right, yeah. So, we should be true, we should be sincere, we should be honest in what we're doing and what we desire for. Yeah. And don't let your worldly soul get lazy, lest it sit twiddling its thumbs. Your soul must work like it's a navy, day after day, night after night. So, you have to be busy to please Krishna. It's not enough to work with the body, to work only with to fulfill desires of the body. Truly lazy people, to be honest. I know many people who say, "Oh, tomorrow is Monday. Oh, Monday means come back to work." And I said, "You don't like your work?" Probably this means something. But statistically, most of the people don't like the work. And only small percent of people who likes the work. How to understand that I like my work, my job, or I don't? If I'm ready to work without payment, I love that. If I go to work and they say no payment at all, never. And I say no, I'm going to find another work. So this work is not really what I love. Yeah, of course, we should understand the reality. In reality, even if I love my work or don't like, we need to pay bills, we need to do that, we've got lots of necessities. Yeah, but it depends on how I feel I'm inside. I'm talking about my emotions, according to that or another work which we do in life. So, since physical labor is only a small part of our responsibilities, the most responsibility should come from devotional service, of course, to please Krishna. And this is important. And sometimes laziness leads to suffering and depression. The modern depression. So the modern depression means I can do it, but I don't do it. And because I can do it, I don't do it, I'm in depression. Yeah, so this is the modern depression that, I can do it. It looks like, I have to do that, but 5 minutes for checking emails. And you go on to Wi-Fi and you realize that you spent 1 or 2 hours there. And when you come out, I was supposed to be 5 minutes there. You know what I mean? So this is kind of, I would say, modern depression, because then I'm worrying about that I had to do this and I just spent so much time for nothing online. That's what I mean. So to work with the soul means to constantly remember that everything I do for pleasure of Krishna. So to please Krishna means devotional service. And devotional service means continuing to seek Krishna no matter what. And it will develop our love through special trials, through the trials of separation. Oh, that's interesting. It's like appearing like a drop of nectar before the devotee. It gets disappeared again, so that that our love is able to grow stronger. So the disappearance within the relation, it's not the right way to say. Separation from Krishna and then to obtain the Krishna again through kirtan or devotional service helps me to grow my love, to grow my taste, to grow my bhakti, my devotional sadhana. Yeah, it's difficult to explain, to be honest, but separation is the part of our devotional service. For example, when a beggar suddenly becomes rich and then falls into ruin again, along with his money, he has no peace and no sleep. He said, just yesterday I had $1 million and today I'm a beggar again. And he would be worrying about that. Same as long as we realize this spiritual taste, spiritual experience, it's quite difficult to sleep and to be the same person I was yesterday or a few days ago. Yeah. Same with the Krishna consciousness. As long as we understand that way, and we got the taste of Krishna, how to please Krishna, and then we go into separation because we don't see Krishna at the moment. Well, we see Krishna. Well, it's difficult. This happens like madness. Well, a good example again from the Shastras. When Krishna left Vrindavan, all inhabitants of Vrindavan, they become so sad that they couldn't see Krishna. They feel lonely without Krishna. They couldn't eat, they couldn't sleep, like all their life become really dark about that. But then, when after Kurukshetra, they took Krishna back to Vrindavan, and they were so happy. And this is how our bhakti grows. And the interesting fact that the bliss of separation is called virahanala. Virahanala. Yeah. Because the bliss itself, eternal bliss, we call as ananda. But the bliss of separation in bhakti, called virahanala. And virahanala means the fire of separation. And when the seeker of Krishna immerses himself in the fire, all his karma is burned to ashes. Some yogis in old days left this world by seeing Paramatma inside of their heart, and then they no longer belong to this world. And that's how they left bodies, through the fire of separation, which is called virahanala. Virahanala. And how we begin our devotional service to Krishna? To do this, we should first of all to be very respectful and humble to all Vaishnavas. That's the first thing. And it is said that a devotee always shares their smiles with other devotees. Like, Haribol! Haribol! And smile each other. Yes. This is our service to each other, and this is our service to the absolute truth. Therefore, part of our work is to serve devotees. As an employee serves their employers. Yeah. Spiritual master and all acharyas are willing us to give us lots of works how to clean our heart, how to clean our impurity, and how to become pure. And through this process, Bhakti Yoga, we're going to receive a salary. Do you know which kind of salary we're going to receive in Bhakti Yoga? Well, no. The salary called Satchitananda. Where else we're going to get salary called Satchitananda, which means eternal bliss, eternal knowledge, and eternity itself. This is our salary, to realize that I'm a soul, I'm eternal, I'm full of knowledge, and I'm full of bliss. This is our salary. And where else can we get that salary? I don't know. Because material salary or material life bring us like little crumbles of bread comparing to the eternity, according to knowledge and happiness. Secondly, we must be very honest with Krishna, honest with the absolute truth, and honest with our heart in our own heart. Nothing can be hidden from the absolute truth. Therefore, any tricks simply postpone our encounter with spiritual happiness indefinitely. In the spiritual realm, one can only deceive. So, sincerity and humility are two doors to lead us to the spiritual happiness. But today, the experience of happiness itself is not so common. Who knows about these two doors? How to become more advanced spiritual life in Krishna consciousness, in devotional service. Not many people even understand what I'm talking about, what it is. But our gurus, all acharyas from Parampara, remind us that when we are happy, our thoughts become twice as clear. When we are happy, we become twice as effective. When we are happy, we need just half as much money to live. When we are happy, we live longer. And when we are happy, we are able to love our enemies. Hopefully we don't have any enemies. But so happiness helps lots to solve lots of problems. Yeah. I remember yesterday I was discussing with my friend, one person. He lives in Malaysia or the Philippines, and he's 149 years old. Imagine that. He overlived all his wives. He had 3 wives. He overlived all his children. He overlived some of his grandchildren.
Outlived. He's outlived. Not overlived.
Outlived. Or I say outlived. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. He outlived all many people and still alive. And you know why he's so long-living person? Because he's happy. He's so happy person. Everybody in the village where he lives loves him, and he loves everybody. So when we're happy, the magic gonna happen. And why not to start study the philosophy of happiness, science of happiness? Because we called Krishna consciousness is a science of happiness. And what we need to start to do? Chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always remember Krishna, never forget. Thank you for listening. Any reflections, questions, discussions would you like to ask?
Thank you for a nice class. Earlier on you were talking about the regulative principles and pressure involved in that. I think people in material consciousness or people who aren't so familiar with Krishna consciousness, they will find those regulative principles quite daunting. But when you start to practice spirituality, if you start chanting Hare Krishna, after a period of time, you can understand the necessity to refrain from those things.
Yeah.
Like you were saying later on in the class, you get a taste. So Krishna consciousness, it gives you a different taste than material taste.
Yeah.
And so therefore Krishna gives you the intelligence to understand why you have to refrain from those things. Prabhupada actually refers to those principles as the regulative principles of freedom.
Yes.
So it means you're becoming free.
Truly free, yeah.
Most of us, we have that experience that, by practicing Krishna consciousness and avoiding those things, actually we become freer and we become happier because of that as well, because those things are very entangling. And as you were saying earlier on, some of these things, like they lead to depression or trauma and stuff and things like that. So I mean, it's a Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. People can't practice these regulative principles from the very beginning, but over a period of time, you can do it.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. Thank you very much for sharing this point that we become more freer, and this is the real freedom. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Any more?
What about someone, like we all are in this materialistic world, what about someone like a butcher? His duty is to, cut animals and do things, but if he chants Hare Krishna every time when he does that, just like Arjuna, when he killed the soldiers in front of him, and he still chants Krishna, so indirectly he is not doing any kind of sin. So are we supposed to leave our work and just focus on Krishna rather than doing work and still chanting Hare Krishna? So involving in materialistic world and still chanting Hare Krishna like that.
Yes. So the thing is that as long as I've got some, if I'm involved in sinful activity, like Achara, as you mentioned, and I started chant Hare Krishna, Krishna from within helped me to change my life. It's not, as I mentioned in the lecture, it's not going to be straight away, just like I started chanting and straight away I got the result. No, it's going to be gradual way. Maybe not one life, maybe not 2 lives, maybe not 3, maybe 108 lives. I need that, but the seed is already planted and the bhakti is already growing. And one day, all going to be changed. And it's a very good example of who wrote Ramayana? Valmiki, yes, thank you. Valmiki, Prabhu, yes. So that's a long story about him, and this is a good example. And also you mentioned about that that in our material, like Arjuna, yes, he was a warrior, but he was Kshatriyas. That was his duty to kill, but he wasn't killing for pleasure. Like, boom, no, not like that. It was a serious warrior, you know. This was his duty, you know, to do about something on the battlefield. And it was an honest battle. He would never just do that in a dishonest way. Yeah. Able. Yeah.
Someone who's a butcher and chant Hare Krishna, if he's sincere, Krishna will give him the intelligence to give up that profession at some stage, because it's not authorized. Arjuna was a bona fide warrior and prince, so it was his duty to fight.
Yeah.
But human beings, we're not supposed to eat meat or to kill animals, so that's not really a bona fide activity. And so, yeah, it happens. We hear of it. Some people who are involved, and they're involved in something like that, some kind of slaughter or meat factory or something like that. But after a period of time, they give up that profession so that they can do something which is not entangling.
So how the tomato juice you are calling is the most hygienic in the air travel? Because the reason it has got the holiest word as per Bhagavad Gita 17:23, Om structure, okay? And it's the purest available juice until people ask them, you put the eye most of the time is full of minerals and quite hygienic. Also when you ask anybody to serve food, they will like, they take the Holy Ghost name.
Very well.
Within the Bhagavad Gita 7:23, Om is the first word, which is spoken by the human society, then Tat and then Sat.
Thank you.
That's the only vegetable fruit that's called vegetable as well. Most hygienic travel, okay? So most of the time I do take it without ice, just pepper and some salt.
Thank you for listening. Please get one. Yeah.
So I had a question about,
Yeah.
you were saying, the natural state of the soul is to be blissful. I'm paraphrasing you here, so I don't know
No problem.
that's accurate. And you were also saying a bit later then about how, if we fully surrender to Krishna, even if that means that we're going to be, we're going to go through immense suffering and pain. Again, paraphrasing you, so I hope that's accurate. Is it fair to say that if we genuinely surrender to Krishna, that he won't give us necessarily suffering and pain, but we have to be genuine in the actual surrender to know that we do accept that if that's what he gives us? I don't know if that makes sense. Because if our natural state is to be sort of blissful, would he allow that if we were still completely surrendered?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to mention that again. Well, I said in the lecture that as soon as we truly and honestly surrender to Krishna, we receive the taste, and with this taste, we're always going to become happy. And this taste is growing. It's growing. The more you do devotional service, the more it grows, and you become blissful. Things like that. But Krishna probably will give the special plan for me. I'm going to talk for myself. And maybe that plan is not so much enjoying from one point of view. Somebody would think that, oh, your life, Prabhu, is like a nightmare. I don't want to have that experience as you have. But this is Krishna's plan. And I, as a devotee, would be so happy that Krishna chose me to be a tool in his hands. And we've got many stories about that. Like Haridasa Thakur, lots of bad things happened to him. But he was so happy. He said, "Oh, Krishna wants me to be a tool in his hands. I'm so happy." And when those soldiers or somebody's beating him on the square, and he couldn't die because Krishna didn't want him to die, then these executors said like, "Oh, you have to die, otherwise the king's gonna punish us. You're gonna kill our family. Please die." And then Haridasa Thakur said, "Okay, if you are gonna disturb your family and you are gonna die." So he just died. Then they throw his dead body to the river, and on another bank of that river, Haridasa Thakur walked again. No problem. he was survived, But imagine how much suffering he had. And his consciousness was truly Krishna's conscious. He was happy. Like, okay, yeah, look. Of course, at this high level, it's difficult to understand that what I'm saying, and that's what Shastras explain in their stories. But this is the example. This is what we should understand one day.
That answers it really well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to add on to what you are trying to understand. So basically, as practicing devotees, we need to assess our own consciousness and try to understand what exactly the suffering you are trying to say. So if you go pray to Krishna that I am not getting any suffering, it doesn't mean that you are not progressing. We have to be very careful in what you are asking to Krishna. So Krishna is like, okay, you want suffering? I am happy, he can give you suffering. It's not the case of having suffering. It's just like, as we practice devotional service, we establish some bliss, as Prabhu was mentioning, that we establish some bliss, and we naturally get detached to some of the material objects. Like, a simple example is, if you are addicted to coffee, without coffee you get a headache. That's the suffering, right? So once you start practicing Krishna consciousness, a person who has seen you before, not consuming coffee would give you a headache, it's a suffering, but you are not having it, right? So, though that particular issue was suffering previously, but now you have progressed to a certain extent, or you have evolved your consciousness to a certain extent, where you are not attached to it. So naturally that thing doesn't become a suffering for you. So as we evolve in Krishna consciousness, so we naturally become detached to the material world. So things which looked very painful previously would not naturally doesn't affect you. Yeah. The highest forms of pain means suffering is janma mrityu jara vyadhi, that is birth, old age, means birth, death, old age and disease. Even those things would seem to be a mere things for a devotee. So that's what Haridas Thakur was. He doesn't mind it.
Thank you.
And also I would like to add that my guru, my spiritual master, says that if we got nice life, nice work, nice wife, nice family, nice kids, everything's nice. This is the good mercy. That's just a mercy. And he says that if I got do that, obstacles, that I got challenges, things which bring me some suffering, some disappointments, this is a special mercy. So we probably sometimes special mercy is better to become a diamond. Yes.
So I just have one
Yeah.
thing that the Bucha question he said. I believe that it is the Sri Krishna ji said one thing, karma.
Yeah.
So even before Mahabharata, Arjuna was not able to fight because it was his own family. So then Sri Krishna ji said it's a karma. So worship is something very different and karma is very different. That's the destiny he has to follow.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add one more thing. Like Krishna said to him, whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna kill the person in front of you, but it's gonna come into me. It's not you're gonna suffer from that thing.
Exactly.
So even a butcher is chanting something and he's saying Hare Krishna. It's his work, it's materialistic work. But what is going? The sin is not getting on his head, it's actually the Krishna is taking everything from him.
It's going like a fire, exactly.
Yeah.
Just burning.
Yeah. It's just like protection.
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah. And this is the gradual process. It's not like straight away. With the fire, it's not going to just put anything in the ashes straight away. It needs time. Just need time. It should be patient. Right, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Just one more. Okay, no problem. Yes, please do it.
Thank you very much for that. Was very powerful. I particularly think that the point you made about illusion having disappointment in the end,
Yeah.
I think that was quite profound. My question, you mentioned about seeing Krishna's plan unfold. Now, how do we know when situations in our life are Krishna's plan or due to our own previous karma? How do we know the difference? How do we make that distinction?
How is the difference between karma and Krishna's plan? But even the karma and all these laws of karma is just under the control of Krishna. Yes. So from my point of view, anything what we deserve and what we experience in life is part of Krishna's plan. Anything. Even that karma, what we receive, is also Krishna's plan, because we wanted to be independent from Krishna. We're here, right? We think that everything what's happening, well, some people think like that anything happening is, I'm in charge, I'm responsible, I'm the king of nature, I'm the king of this life, things like that. And don't believe in God, I'm atheist or something like that. But okay, just before Krishna allow us to do that. And it's also Krishna's plan to allow. So any sanctions or no sanctions, it's everything. As we know, even the blade of the grass cannot move without permission of Krishna. So I see everything is a plan of Krishna. It's laws of karma. Right, thank you very much for listening. Shri Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premananda.
So now we're going on to have an arti now. So if everybody would like to stand up and put the cushions away, please.